gave my sister $650 a week, but at family dinner she said, "You don't help enough. Don't be a cheapskate." My parents took her side and said it was true. For 5 years, I paid my sister Hannah's rent. Every single week, $650 transferred without fail. Her husband Ryan hasn't worked in those 5 years. Not one day. He always has excuses about the job market or his vision for starting businesses that never materialize. Hannah stopped working after their second kid was born. I get it. Kids are expensive and demanding. But instead of being grateful, she started making comments. Little jabs about how I was lucky to have a stable job, how my wife and I were spoiled because we bought a new car. Still, I kept sending money. Rent, car repairs, medical bills, baby formula, whatever they needed, I covered it. My wife wasn't thrilled about it, but she trusted me to help my family. Then came that Saturday dinner at our parents' house. Everything seemed normal. Mom made her famous roast chicken. Dad had the game on low. Kids were running around. We were halfway through dessert when Hannah set down her fork and looked directly at me. "You're not helping enough. Don't be stingy." I thought she was joking. I waited for someone to laugh. Nobody did. Then my dad, without even looking up from his plate, said, "Well, she's not wrong." My mom just nodded in agreement. Something inside me went completely quiet. I looked at these people I'd spent 5 years supporting financially and emotionally. They looked back at me like I was the problem. I stood up, smiled, and said, "Then live without my money." My wife didn't say a word. She just grabbed our kids' jackets and followed me out. The entire drive home, I was silent, but I wasn't thinking about what they said. I was thinking about what I was going to do. The moment I got home, I opened my banking app. I canceled the weekly automatic transfer to Hannah. Then I called their landlord and told him I would no longer be covering their rent. I removed them from the shared grocery account they'd been using like it was their own personal fund. Everything gone. In 20 minutes, I dismantled 5 years of financial support. The next morning at 7 a.m., someone started pounding on my front door. I looked through the peephole and saw Ryan standing there, still in his pajamas. Behind him in the driveway was Hannah, sitting in their van. "Ethan, please, man, we need to talk. The landlord already called. We can't pay rent. We don't even have gas money to get to the food bank." His voice cracked. He sounded desperate, which was probably genuine, but I remembered how they all sat there agreeing I was stingy. I didn't open the door. I just stood there and listened to him plead for 10 minutes before he finally gave up and left. Then Hannah got out of the van. She didn't knock. She screamed through the door, "You can't do this to us. You have responsibilities. You're selfish. How can you let your niece and nephew go hungry?" I recorded every word of it. Then I went back to making breakfast for my kids. 3 hours later, my mom called. I didn't answer. Then came the texts. First from Mom, then from Hannah, then from random family members I hadn't heard from in years. The messages started polite. "We need to talk. Don't do anything rash. This is family." Then they turned aggressive. "How could you let your niece and nephew go hungry? Your sister is in tears. You're punishing children for adult problems. Shame on you." Not one person asked me if I was okay. Not one person asked why I did it. They already knew. By Tuesday, my mom showed up at my office unannounced. She never visits me at work, ever. My receptionist told me there was a woman insisting she was my mother. I stepped out. There she was in the waiting area, arms crossed, looking furious. "You embarrassed Hannah. You hurt her children. She's your sister, Ethan." I kept my voice calm. "You all sat there while she called me stingy. You agreed with her. After everything. She's struggling. She's not herself. And what about me? Am I not allowed to get tired of being treated like a human ATM? You're better off than them," she said, as if that explained everything. "This isn't about money. It's about respect. I'm not going to finance people who resent me for having what they chose not to earn." She didn't say anything. She just stood up and walked out without even saying goodbye. That night, I got a text from Hannah. No greeting, no apology. Just, "You better fix this, Ethan. You won't like what happens if you don't." I blocked her number immediately. By Thursday, everything went suspiciously quiet. That's when their landlord called me. Apparently, Ryan and Hannah had told him I was going through something, and that payments would resume once I'd calmed down. They said I was having a mental breakdown and would be back to normal soon. I told the landlord the truth. I said I'd been completely sane when I cut them off, and he should start the eviction process. Then I blocked his number too. My wife asked me if I felt guilty. Honestly, not even a little. Sometimes the only way people learn is when the free ride ends.